सुरू करायचं हळूहळू.
हो sir, हो. Good afternoon, everyone present over here. This is the activity conducted through Institute Innovation Council. We are in the end of the quarter 3. Actually, April was supposed to be the quarter 3. So this is the 11th hour arrangement, because it's the last day of the April. We could catch the calendar given by this Ministry of Education. Today, we have arranged a lecture for you students on how to plan the startup. Why the third year class is focused, I'll let you know, because now we are almost at end of the semester, and next year, each class, I mean final year class, is having a project as a course. So in project, normally we have two phases, semester 1, semester 2. Initially, it is identifying the project, literature survey, market survey, need analysis, and finally you will land upon certain project idea. And then you just have a feasibility study of the project idea in the first semester. And in the next semester, you start building or applying that project. And finally, 1 year, as considering from today, at the end of 1 year, you will be submitting your project. So the main motto of arranging this lecture is, while selecting your project title, you please keep, can it be converted as a startup, in your mind, so that project selection has to be accordingly done. So I would like to tell you that today we have an expert with us. He is Bhale sir, and he will be guiding you how to plan a startup. So my basic appeal to you all is, choose the project of final year such that may lead to a startup, and that may lead to a product development, and that may lead to your entrepreneurship as a career. Okay. So I'll just briefly introduce Bhale sir. He is MBA qualified person, and he has 28 years with state level training in consultancy organization. He worked with MCED. It is nearby our college. It's a MIDC station road, station area. He worked there for 28 years. For 5 years with World Bank project as a senior consultant for livelihood creation in Maharashtra. He is national awardee as base trainer consultant by EDII Ahmedabad. He has written 5 books in areas of entrepreneurship. Presently, he is founder and director of Udyam Info Solutions Private Limited, Aurangabad. And last year, he has promoted 66 MSME units and provided end-to-end solutions to them. So we have such a great expert with us. So we are eager to hear you, sir. You can start your session. Participants, be ready to get the inputs. Sir, please. Bhale, sir.
हा चालू करतोय.
हा.
काय झालं? काय होतंय? परत लिंक मध्ये जाऊ. Hello, good afternoon all. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, your voice is audible, sir.
No. Should I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, please, sir.
Okay. So, Madam, it is a great opportunity for me to interact with you all, and I am very much thankful to Engineering College for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences with you all. So, I have divided this session in 3-4 capsules because it is around 2 hours session. So, what we will do, I will introduce myself first, then I will introduce my organization onwards. Then we will go for the concept of entrepreneurship, whether we can start our own venture. If it is yes, then how we should go for starting our own venture. Then what is MSME Act 2006. Then we will go for what are the steps one should take for starting an micro, small, medium enterprise. That is, what are the legal and this lawful steps to be taken by an individual for starting an enterprise. Then we will go for what are the various opportunities, and one should choose an opportunity. What is that is what we can say it is an it as an project selection, how to identify an appropriate opportunity for my personality or for starting as an startup, as an venture for me. So we will have an overview of that particular thing. Then we will go for what are the assistance and support system from government for the startup, new startups. What are these particular things offered by government of Maharashtra and government of India for starting an enterprise for an individual. So likewise, we will go step by step for this particular today's session. So let me introduce myself. The brief introduction is given by Madam. Even though I would like to share my something with you to know each other in more better fashion, so that the session will be an interactive one. Myself, Ullas Bale, I have completed my science graduation, that is BSc Geology from Aurangabad only. Onwards, I have completed my MBA in marketing. Then I have completed a postgraduate diploma in labor law. Then I have completed this government diploma in commercial and cooperative accounting. Then I have worked with some small industries before going to an this Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development. So I have worked with the one of the small industry in Aurangabad. That was the milk and milk product. That is Ellora milk product, which was the first manufacturing the dairy product unit in Aurangabad. At that time, I have worked over there as an sales junior sales officer. Then by getting an experience at that particular ice cream manufacturing company, dairy and dairy product company, I have switched over that particular job to Parle Exports Private Limited. That is, I was in sales with the bottling company, Parle Exports Private Limited. That is, they were the manufacturers of the major leader manufacturers of the soft drinks in the world. That is Thumbs Up, Gold Spot, Limca, Rimzim, Maaza, Distillery, Club Soda were their products. Onwards, I have joined Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development, wherein I worked over there for promoting startups, entrepreneurs around 28 years in different parts of Maharashtra, in different districts of Maharashtra, right from Aurangabad, Yavatmal, Nanded, then Kolhapur, Sangli, then Nagpur, and onwards I have an opportunity to work with one best project of Government of India, that is funded by World Bank, that is promoting agripreneurs in Maharashtra. Agripreneurs in Maharashtra, around we have around in an year we have promoted around 1,000 agripreneurs in Maharashtra to help the farmers to prevent them rather from suicide thing. So this was the project where we have promoted around 1,000 entrepreneurs per year with right from the concept, that is providing them an concept, making their enterprise legal in legal way, start linking with the bank, linking with the raw material thing, linking for machinery and everything we have made for them. And onwards, I have started this Udyam Info Solutions Private Limited, our own company, wherein we work for in two areas, we can say, two broad areas. One is a training component and second is an consultancy component. in training component, we do conduct startup training program for different target groups of the society. Then second, our activities is business development program. That is for existing entrepreneurs, we conduct a business development program uh, for various sectors of the businesses, maybe service activity, maybe manufacturing unit, or maybe an service, maybe an we can say an social entrepreneurship like thing, like this thing. So we work for business development for them. We identify their need. We prepare and tailor-made training program for particular target group of them existing what we can say existing industries. We can say that for example, for plastic industries we design different program. For auto industries we design different program. Depending on this nature of an industry, we design an training program for existing entrepreneurs. We do conduct some programs for corporate sector. That is for we can say that from workers to managers, executives, we conduct the training program also. So in training component, we do this particular three things in major way. For NGOs also we work. For NGOs we also work for designing their modules, for designing their programs, for designing their schedule, and for getting them and fund. That is for helping them in preparation of the funding proposals for getting and funds from government end. So this is in nutshell regarding the training component of Udyam Info Solutions Private Limited. We work in another part of our working is providing an consultancy to an entrepreneurs. That is potential entrepreneurs we can say, or we can say an startup also, and for existing entrepreneurs also, right from project idea to that is concept to commencement of any enterprise. We the various steps are there. On each step we work or we support from for them as a service provider. So today what we will do, this is in nutshell regarding my myself and regarding my organization. There are certain achievements. One achievement is that I have promoted around more than 10,000 we can say manufacturing concern in India. So in 2003, this on the EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, they have recognized this work and they have given us a national award for promoting this highest enterprises in India. That too with manufacturing concern. So this is one achievement. Second is this thing that I have written around 5 books. I have got I have written around 5 books in the regional language Marathi. That is one. The name of the first book is Tools and Techniques for Starting an Enterprise, Udyog Ubarni Tantra and Mantra. Second is Agro Business Opportunity. Third is Women Entrepreneurship. Fourth is that is professional personality development. That is how to be a successful entrepreneur. This is the basic focus of that particular book. And fifth is on self-help group, a way of economic success. So like this, I have written around 5 books. Basically, I am not a writer or I am basically not a writer by birth, but due to having this particular experience in various sector and various categories of the what we can say the various categories of the projects which I have handled. And so, from that I have written this all books. So this is in nutshell regarding myself, my achievements, and my organization. Then then we will go for our particular this sessions topics one by one. That is how basically we will before going to an topic we will try to know a little bit regarding the entrepreneurship concept. So there are many doubts and queries and questions in our mind. Rather than for first entrepreneurs, first generation entrepreneurs we can say, or new startups, they think that can we become an entrepreneur or not, or there might be a question in their mind whether entrepreneurs are born or they can be created. So this is the basic questions that comes in a new startup or first generation entrepreneur when he desires to start a particular enterprise. So it is scientifically, rather than we can say that it is concluded by various behavioral scientists that entrepreneurs are not necessarily born, not necessarily born, they can be created through systematic training. So there was an behavioral exercise or experiment carried out by Sir David McClelland in around 50s in India. That experiment is called as an Kakinada experiment. It was conducted in Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, a village called Kakinada, wherein his research was regarding the economic development of an individual for economic development of an individual through training, what we can say, a training component or certain interventions, what we can say. We will not go into the details of the Sir David McClelland's exercise or experiment what he has conducted, but we will rather touch to the conclusion part of his experiment or his exercise what he has carried over there. But he has specifically mentioned in his theory that entrepreneurs are not necessarily born; they can be created through systematic training. This was his first statement in that particular research work what he has carried over there. So the exercise was conducted on a group of specific community. We will not go into the detail, but to know you in a nutshell that he has conducted an experiment on the group of an fisherman. For one group, he has provided certain facilities and money directly, and for one group, he has charged something. So, and after that, he has after that he has analyzed the results of the experiment, and he has concluded that entrepreneurs are not necessarily born; they can be created through systematic training. This was his first statement. Second, what he has concluded that the traits or qualities required to be an entrepreneur are naturally present in every person. This was his second statement. Third, what he has concluded that entrepreneurship qualities or entrepreneurship is not a caste-based thing or an gender-based thing. What he has concluded, anyone can become an entrepreneur, but it is very difficult for an particular nation to make everyone entrepreneur. So it is expected that you identify the potential entrepreneurs having more what we can say need for achievement like quality in his personality, and give him or her an systematic training, identify and potential what we can say potential entrepreneur, and give him an training so that we can make him an entrepreneur very easily. So development of any country is counted in two parameters. One is the technology that country had with them. Sorry, and second is the number of industries in that particular country. So GDP is or the national income is calculated in national income is raised through these two parameters. So basically development of any country is calculated on this particular two parameters, that is the technology that country had with them and number of industries in that particular country. So these are the two parameters. Then if an undeveloped country wants to be an developed country, so naturally there should be more number of industries to be promoted in that particular country, so that the national income can raise. And we can say that it is the GDP and national income will raise, and we can say that it is a developed country. So for making our India a developed country, it is on the verge of this what we can say, and on the path of the development country, on the way of the development country. So we are going ahead on this particular path. So naturally this our government or this nation requires more number of entrepreneurs or more number of startups to be started to start their own ventures. So there is no any such mechanism that or any software like that thing. So there we can have an input and of the number of schemes and government facilities from one side as an input, and we will get directly the end product, that is entrepreneurs directly. So it is not so. So it will be requiring the spontaneous supply of the potential entrepreneurs. So this is the thing why we are here, or why colleges are promoting such activities in the colleges for the last year students. So you will get the more systematic way and particular knowledge today for starting your own startup. So to have you an idea and regarding the creating an background for you for starting a good enterprise, I am giving you a brief information of all these things. Uh, so for getting a spontaneous supply of the potential entrepreneurs, such entrepreneurship awareness programs and all these things have been initiated by government at various levels. So basically, in India, as far as our nation is concerned, after independence, there was not a needle also was not manufactured in our India. At that time, mostly the public enterprises were there at initial stage from 47 to around, we can say, around 70. After 70, there was a decentralization policy of a government of India. So all were in India. District industry centers were promoted as a part of government policy, industrial policy, ID policy in 1947. After that, there was an process started of there was an decentralization process started at every district, and such in a such way the industrial that is starting of an industry or entrepreneurs have process of the entrepreneurship development, what we can say, has started vigorously from 1970. So at apex level, major three institutions were floated by Government of India. The Government of India, Ministry of Small Scale Industry, SSI Ministry was the name of that particular ministry previously. Now the name of the ministry is Ministry of Micro Small Medium Enterprises, MSME Ministry. So previously the name was Ministry of Small Scale Industry was the name. So at that time, they have promoted three major institutions to promote more entrepreneurs, more entrepreneurship development activity in the nation at the national level. The apex institution is called as an NICIAT, National Institute for Small Industries and Extension Training, previously at Hyderabad. So this was the pioneer institution promoted by Government of India, wherein the Kakinada experiment was conducted, and on the basis of the conclusion for developing developing the more entrepreneurial development of for the economic development, we can say, of an country. The pioneer first institution was promoted in Hyderabad, which is nearer to this Kakinada, so that after that experiment, this institution has been created for economic development of our country. So the first name was SIET, Small Industries Extension Training Institute. Then it has been converted into a national institution called NICIAT, National Institute for Small Industries and Extension Training. Onwards, now the name of the institution is, right now it is National Institute for Micro Small Medium Enterprises. NIMSME is the name of the institution at the current stage, we can say. So this is the pioneer institution. So they also collaborate with our colleges and educational institute, CEDs in India, and they provide mostly, what we can say, the policy designers are these people. They help the government to design the entrepreneurship development policy, and in execution also they are over there. They won't conduct directly the entrepreneurship development programs. They help what we can say, they help and build the capacities of the colleges, institutions, and state governments and functionaries for promoting this government policy and procedures, what we can say. So even our colleges can also have an MOU and collaboration with them to get funds, as well as for getting more projects for our students. So this is the first institution promoted by Ministry of Micro Small Medium Enterprises. Second institution is promoted. This particularly NIMSME is taking care of the southern part of India, mostly southern part of the India. Then this second institution promoted by MSME Ministry is NISBUD, NIESBUD, National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development. It is located in Delhi. So this institution this institution also provide the same thing. They work for them. They work for the as NISME is working. Likewise, they are working for this north part of India. And third institution is promoted. It is a type of hybrid model, government plus private. This thing, autonomous body is there. So government previously government was promoted. Government has promoted this institution for Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So for this particularly three states, we can say Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. The name of the institution is EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. So for Maharashtra, then Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, we can approach to them for getting various projects, various funds for our college also for betterment of our students. So basically, for promoting entrepreneurship in India, the three basic institutions were promoted. Fourth institution is itself of an Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise called MSMEDI, Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Development Institute. It is in Mumbai. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, every state capital has this particular institution for coordination of entrepreneurship development activities in a particular state. So this is in nutshell regarding the government scenario for promoting entrepreneurship development. We will see before starting any startup, one should know the government terminologies and what we can say government concept, government things before starting an enterprise or before starting any startup. So basically, we should know what is MSME. Previously, it is called when 1947 to around 70, the industries the name terminology of an calling an enterprise is was a different one. So they called everything as a small scale industry. So now the nomenclature has been changed due to the global GATT, we can say, as we entered into an GATT and accepted the global this terminology. So now the enterprises are called as an micro, small, medium enterprises, and the act was passed in 2006, 2nd October 2006, called MSME Act 2006. So before starting any enterprise or startup, we can say we should know this particular terminology of MSME. So what is this MSME? So MSME generally what we generally in our local this thing discussions or this thing we call I want to start an business. So for anything we say business thing, we name it as an business. We want to start an business. So this is not so. So government has defined the particular thing for particular activities. So we will see how this government has defined the thing. So previously we called everything as a business, but now we are saying it as an enterprise. So enterprise government has divided into 3-4 categories. Any enterprise who the entrepreneur want to start should know in which category I am starting and this startup. So basically the government has classified the enterprises into basic 3 categories based on the nature of the activity. They have categorized in 3 things. One is industry, second is service industry, and third is called as an business. So this is categorized. Every enterprise in India is categorized in these 3 basic categories, we can say, depending on the nature. The first is industry. Generally, we say that I want to start an industry, but one should know what basically industry is defined by government. So government says that any manufacturing activity, or the MSME Act says that any manufacturing activity in which raw material is converted into finished good, either by means of manpower or machinery, with due profit. This is the definition of an government under MSME Act 2006. So one should know whether I want to start an industry. So one should able to categorize what I mean, whether I want to start an industry or service industry or business. These 3 basic categories were defined by government. That is, one is industry, that is manufacturing concern. Second is service industry, that is serving the society or serving the peoples and generating profit out of it. Third is business, that is trading. We will see, we have seen what is industry, that is manufacturing activity or manufacturing concern in which raw material is converted into finished good, either by means of manpower or machinery with due consideration of profit. So this is, they have defined under manufacturing activity. All the manufacturing activities comes under this particularly industry component. So the licenses, registrations and government schemes are different for industries, different for service industries and different for trading activities. So one should know before starting and startup, one should finalize that whether I want to go for industry, that is manufacturing activity, or service activity, or an business activity. So we will see how this government has decided, defined a service activity. What they say, what this MSME Act 2000C or what law is saying that activity in which services are rendered to the society, any activity in which services are rendered to the society with due either by manpower or machinery with due consideration of profit. So this is what they have defined as an service activity. Then business, they have defined business as an activity in which the what we can say, the goods are purchased on wholesale basis and they are sold on retail basis with due consideration of profit. So this likewise government has decided defined or classified enterprises on the basis of the nature of the activities in ISB classification. This is also called as an ISB classification under this Act 2006. Then they have categorized after this classification, there is an sub classification. This is called as an category wise classification. So again, the the activities are classified in the broad categories. These are called as an coding for licenses. Basically, this is called as an coding for licenses. So first category is agro-food industries. This is the first category. Second is chemical and plastic industries. This second category. Then mechanical and metallurgical, third industries, or service industries or businesses. You can have industry, service industry or business, but the subcategory is agro, food, chemical, plastic, electrical, electronics, mechanical, metallurgical, ceramic, glass, then electrical, electronics, IT, computer, then BT industry, textile, garment, then footloose industries. Likewise, they have subcategories of the industry, enterprises. So first we have seen these enterprises is divided on the basis of the nature of activity, that is industry, service industry, business. Then category wise they have divided this into agro-based, agro-food, chemical, plastic, electrical, electronics, mechanical, metallurgical, ceramic, glass, then leather, rubber, then electronics, electrical, electronics, then textile, garment. Likewise they have subcategories for all of the activities. So one should finalize whether I want to go for while starting and while taking a decision to start any enterprise. One should one should have a clear-cut idea regarding whether I want to go for manufacturing activity, service activity, or business. Then he has to decide whether I want to go in agro-food sector or chemical plastic sector or electrical electronic sector, then IT computer sector. So likewise, one has to keep into in mind while deciding the opportunity or deciding an project while starting and propose the enterprise, while deciding and propose the enterprise. Then they have again one classification called constitution wise classification of enterprises. So constitution can be an proprietary, can be an partnership one, LLP one, that is limited liability partnership theme, private limited, public limited, trust, society. Likewise, one has to decide which constitution I should have for starting an enterprise. So depending on the nature of activity, depending on the this category of an sector, one should finalize the constitution of an enterprise. So then the government has made the financial classification of enterprises also under this Act 2006. because it is very necessary for an startup to know all these things before starting any enterprise or before starting any startup, we can say. We will also see what is the concept of startup in minds of government as well as in general public or local public, we can say, or in like us, the what we purview as an startup and what government purview as an startup. We will see both of the things after this. After knowing this financial classification made by government under this MSME Act 2006. So they named enterprises into four categories under this financial classification. One is micro enterprises, that is any enterprise from 1 rupee to around 10 CR is now micro enterprise as on today. 1 rupee to around 10 CR. But this investment, based on this investment, they have classified this particular thing. Investment in plant, land, building, and machinery, that is in fixed asset, what we can say. That is investment in plant, land, building, machinery, PLBM, we say. Plant, land, building, and machinery, that is called as an fixed asset. On the basis of the investment in fixed assets in an project, government has this categorized this particular four categories they have promoted as far as the financial classification is concerned. One is micro enterprises, that is 1 rupees to 10 CR called, they are saying it as an micro enterprises. Then 10 CR to 50 CR they called is an small, they called them as an small enterprises. From 50 CR and above up to 100 crores they called them as an medium enterprises. And as on today, above 100 crores they call the enterprises as an mega enterprises. So this is the basic classification made by government for any enterprises. One for any enterprises to be started in India. So and a potential entrepreneur or an startup, we can say, should know the basic thing regarding these enterprises, so that what exactly he want to go for, that is for whether he want to go for manufacturing, service, industry, business. Then subcategory he should know whether I want to go into agro food area, or he has to choose the sector wherein he want to start a project. Then he should also know the constitution, what he what he want to be, what the constitution he want to be for starting his an enterprise. Because while thinking of starting an enterprise, there was generally people won't this given focus on this particular this enterprises, that is a constitution for an enterprise. They don't decide while they start. Basically it is at very basic level, that is an idea is only there at beginning. Then one the things go ahead one by one. So we will say how to start an enterprise, what are the steps for starting an enterprise. We will be discussing all these things very deeply, in a very deep manner. So this what we have seen up to this. That is what we have seen up to this entrepreneurship concept we have seen. The entrepreneurs are not necessarily born; they can be made. We have seen. Then the person who starts the things on his own is called as an entrepreneur. That is self-motivated person. Then enterprise, the third terminology is enterprise. We have seen what is enterprise. Then as per the government, what they purview as an enterprise, what are their things, government thing regarding these enterprises in India, how they have classified these enterprises, we have seen. That is on the basis of the nature of activity, categories, constitution, and financial investment of an enterprise. So we will see here now the basic steps, or the what we can say, the steps one has to take for starting an enterprise. What are the steps one should take for starting and proposed enterprise? We will see. The very first thing is that generally people think that finance is the first thing, or a selection of machinery, conduct of market survey, preparation of project report, or choosing an appropriate opportunity may be an first step. But it is not so. After having around 20-30 years experience for promoting entrepreneurs or training them, I came to know that this is the second. All these things are necessary, but they are the secondary things. Very first thing is that the first step to be an entrepreneur, to start an any enterprise is making a decision to be an entrepreneur on our own. This is the firm and final decision. What we can say, it should be a very perfect decision. 100% confident decision to start an enterprise will be the first step. That is decision to become an entrepreneur on our own will be the first step for starting any startup or for starting any enterprise. ना कि ना कि भाई ये अपना बोल सकते हैं कि हम सिलेक्शन ऑफ मशीनरी, प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्शन, सिलेक्शन ऑफ लैंड, सिलेक्शन ऑफ अप्रोप्रिएट मशीनरी, टेक्नोलॉजी, प्रोसेस विल, ये नहीं होगा. तो इसमें डिसीजन टू बी एन एंटरप्रेन्योर विल बी द फर्स्ट स्टेप, वेरी वेरी फर्स्ट स्टेप. So if the decision is 100% foolproof, then the things will automatically happen. The person will start an enterprise. But everything is there. If the decision or his will or desire is not there to do something, then he will or she will not start anything. So after making a decision, only it will not work out. Only by making a decision to be an entrepreneur will not work out. Action part will also be required parallelly with it. So after making a decision, one has to analyze our own self. That is carrying out the SWOT analysis of ourself. That is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats of our own. One has to analyze ourself. So that is how these strengths can be utilized to make my enterprise successful one. Then how to what we can say that how to reduce these weaknesses and convert these weaknesses into an strength. Then how to use opportunities in my personality to make my enterprise successful. This is the thing. And third is threats. That is how to minimize the threats, or how to transform or how to convert these threats into an opportunity to make my startup or to make my enterprise very successful. This is the SWOT analysis of an individual before starting any startup or any enterprise. One has to do very vigorously. That we say always to be successful as an enterprise or as an entrepreneur, project and person match should be very perfect, so that enterprise will be a successful one. Or in other word, it will not be an sick unit, or it will not be an unsuccessful unit, what we can say. So after this SWOT analysis, one has to look in again towards education, experience, and economic capacity of an individual. The education, what we take that is degree, diploma. This education is not actually over here. This education means that education required to start and propose the project, or an idea should be for that particular idea. For example, I want to start a bakery manufacturing food industry or bakery manufacturing unit in Aurangabad, so that I should have this knowledge of or education regarding starting and bakery unit. Though I have an qualification of BA, BCom, BSc, or my general graduation qualification is not expected over here. This education means education regarding this project, regarding the project you want to start. This experience, second parameter is that is experience. So it is expected that we should have an hands-on experience for starting and proposed project. तो उसका हमारे पास थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए. उसके बारे में एक एक्सपीरियंस, हमारा जो बाजू वाला एक्सपीरियंस है वो कुछ काम वाला नहीं है वैसा. जो प्रोजेक्ट हम लगाना चाहते हैं वो प्रोजेक्ट के हिसाब से हमारा एक्सपिरियन्स होना चाहिए. द प्रोजेक्ट जो आम्हाला करायचा आहे त्या प्रोजेक्ट नुसारच आपला अनुभव असायला पाहिजे. माझा ना की माझा समजा मला एक फूड युनिट चालू करायचं आहे आणि मी मेकॅनिकल इंजिनियर आहे फॉर एक्झाम्पल, तर मेकॅनिकल इंजिनियरचं माझा एक्सपिरियन्स इकडं नाही कामाला येणार मला, तर त्याला मला फूड इंडस्ट्री मधला अनुभव लागणार त्याच्यामध्ये आहे ना. सो द प्रोजेक्टच्या नुसार मला त्या याच्यामधला अनुभव आपल्याला लागणार तिथं. तर इथं हा एक्सपिरियन्स अपेक्षित आहे. थर्ड इज इकॉनॉमिक कॅपॅसिटी. द मिनिमम क्वांटम ऑफ money or an investment required to start an enterprise I should have with me. So it is expected as per as the financial indicators are concerned, I should have 25% of the stake of my own. 25% माझे स्वतःची गुंतवणूक माझ्याकडे तयारी असलेली पाहिजे आधी. So you will say that we are studying our student or we are uneducated and employed, then how we should have this money to start an enterprise? This might be a question in your mind. So this is expected that you should serve at somewhere else, so that and make an self what we can say self we can prepare for this self stack for starting an enterprise. You can have an unsecured loan from our parents or relatives, we can say, and our own funds generated by our own. So this is the way. So we should prepare for what we can say have an own stake money preparation for starting and for starting an enterprise. We should start right collecting the money or defining the financial sources. कहाँ से पैसा लाएंगे वो डिफाइन करके पैसा हमको इकट्ठा करना है. तो दिस इज द थिंग. So first we have seen decision to become an entrepreneur is an first step. Self decision होना चाहिए. This should be an self decision. It should not be an embedded decision by parents or से नहीं होना चाहिए, या फिर नौकरी नहीं लग रही बोल के for not getting a job I am starting an enterprise. This should not be a decision like this. So the decision should come from my inner side that I want to do something for my own. So like this perfect decision should be there. Then SWOT analysis we have seen. Then this our E3, what we say it as an E3, that is education, experience and economic capacity. This parameter. Third, then again one should again introspect in ourselves. That is one should say see the confidence in myself, capacity to organize this project, and my own character, capacity and confidence. These are the three things which generally the financial institution take into consideration as far as the entrepreneurial viability is concerned. तर उद्योजकाची सक्षमता म्हणलं जातं मराठीमध्ये, याला उद्यमिकी सक्षमता हिंदीमध्ये म्हणलं जातं. तर याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला उद्योजक जर सक्षम असेल तर तो प्रोजेक्ट सक्षम होईल असं म्हणलं जातं. If the entrepreneur is viable, then the project can be, any project can be viable. This is rather said. So this in totality, the financer or any government department before doing recommending this project, go not go decision or funding decision, they will see this part first. So this is called as an entrepreneurial viability. So madam has mentioned that the viability factors, various viability factors in today's session. So this is the first factor, viability factor. After studying or after having an introspection of my own, then we will have to select an project which will suit to my personality, which will fit to my personality, so that the project will be a successful one. If this is mismatch one, the project will not be a successful one. So for project selection, there are the method is the methodology we will see today. The first of all, likewise we have seen that personal scan should be conducted, that is personality scan or personal scan should be conducted before starting an enterprise. Likewise, one should have an environmental scan or market research or market survey, you name it as an anything, but we call it as an environment scan, environmental scanning. After having what is this environmental scanning, one should study the area wherein one should start and wherein one has to start an project. One should study the area, environment, scan the environment, so that a project can be finalized. So what is this environment scan? This is a simple study wherein we study the natural resources in the area, so that on the basis of natural resources can we start something. So this environment scan is basically carried out for generation of n number of ideas, n number of project ideas which can be feasible ideas in that particular area after conducting an scientific environmental scan or market research or market survey. But basically market research is a broad term. It is it is conducted for both things, for project selection also and for knowing the economic viability of a project, for go not go decision also. But this particular environment scan, what we it is carried out for generating maximum number of project ideas in that particular area. So one should study the natural resources in the area, that is crops, fruits, vegetable, water, soil, minerals, cattle. Likewise, those which are naturally available in our area, can we start something? For example, in Aurangabad, maize production is very much. Maize production is very much. That is maka. मराठीमध्ये मका म्हणणार आपण त्याला मक्याचं प्रोडक्शन खूप आहे इकडं देर इज नो एनी मेज बेस्ड इंडस्ट्री ओवर हियर ऑल द मेज बेस्ड इंडस्ट्रीज आर देयर इन गुजरात है ना जैसे कि कैटल फॉर एग्जांपल फ्रॉम मेज वी कैन गो फॉर कैटल फीड मेकिंग देन मेज 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 ब्रान ऑयल देन कॉर्न फ्लावर ऑयल likewise we can have around 10-20 products out of the maize. So but there is no any industry based on this natural resource. For example, in Jalna we have this sweet lemon over there. Sweet lemon is produced over there at maximum quantum. They supply to the half the Hindustan. This sweet lemon is sent from our Jalna, but there is no any industry in Jalna for extraction of juice or for extraction of a number of products of particular things, this resource. So likewise in Maharashtra we have very much agriculture, we are having very much agriculture resources. District wise there is an speciality of an soil and speciality of an this particular crop over there, and based on that particular that we can say the in agriculture language it is called as an agro commodity. Based on the agro commodity we can manufacture n number of things. For example, dehydration of fruits and vegetable can be an project. For on basis of, for example, we will see an water. Water is naturally available, so we have n number of products based on this natural resource. That is mineral water. We can say soda water. Then we can have this distilled water. Then ice. N number of things can be. N number of projects can be derived from this. Likewise, one has to study the natural resources in our area, crops, fruits and vegetables, minerals, then position of cattle. Likewise, we should generate this the projects based on this particular thing. All technologies and researches are already made by Government of India. There is, we are so lucky. So on every what we can say on every sector we have an R&D organization in India. You name the sector, there is an R&D organization in India. Not only R&D organization, they have done very fantastic work. They have carried out the projects based on this particular natural resources in every sector, and technology process has been already been developed and it is available for commercialization. But there should be a spontaneous supply of the potential entrepreneurs who thinks that we should go for it and we should make it a commercialized idea. So what I mean to say that we need not have to go for R&D. Then R&D is already done. It is made available for commercialization. So in every sector the R&D is compiled and it is made available to an Indian citizen. The name of the organization is NRDC, National Research Development Corporation. So you will find in every sector the R&D work is compiled and it is made for commercialization. Even the project reports has been made. You can see on the net also. You can search on Google also NRDC. So you will get the resources, R&D work done and projects already available on it, mentioning the cost of the project, mentioning the manpower, mentioning the investment, potential, everything is ready made over there. So likewise, the information and every technology is already available over there. One has to just jump in and start an enterprise. So this is the first area wherein we want to have and focus on natural resources. That is the strength of that area. To be a successful, what we can say, person, we can say, or an entrepreneur, we look into the strengths of a person. Likewise, we should see the strength of an area wherein we want to put an project. So that if we focus on the strength, that is the natural resources of that area, we can start a very feasible this enterprise over there. Because the key for the success is that raw material is available at 24/7, we can say spontaneously available, and labor cost is very low. So our job is to just make an quality product and make it available to end society. So this is the thing as far as natural resources are concerned. As per our experience of 20, 25 years, 23 years, 28 years, whatever we can say. This the industries or enterprises based on these natural resources, they are generally successful. They are not failure one. So one, it is suggested that any industry based on natural resources can be started in Maharashtra or in India, anywhere you can start it. So, so basically the farmers are striving for getting maximum prices or cost for their this commodity, agriculture commodity, but it is fluctuation one, fluctuating one. So taking into this or in considering all these things parameters, one should start this industry and help the farmers also for uh, giving them money, for giving them an value addition thing for their own raw material, we can say. So this is the thing. Then second, this based on this natural resources, the enterprises which are started on these natural resources are called as an resource-based industries in as far as the law is concerned, MSME Act is concerned, it is called as an resource-based industry. Second thing is study of the demands of the people in the area wherein we want to start a project. So one has to carry an market survey of the bazaars or weekly bazaars in the area wherein we want to start a project. Nearby districts in region, nearby region, we should go and have an actual survey of an bazaars so that we can know the demands or the goods which are coming into a market from our other sites, from other these regions, and we can decide that what should be manufactured, what should be what services to be given, what trade should be done over there. By analyzing the demands of the things in an this particular area, demands of the people in an area, we can uh, identify an project. So then after that, then one should study also an problems of the people in the area. One has to look into the problems and solutions, problems of the peoples in the area, and we should provide the solutions for that particular problem of the commodities in that particular area. So the opportunities can be generated out of it. After having this brief study of an particular this area on this particular three categories, one has we will generate around 8-10 ideas, 8-10 ideas, good ideas. We will have an filtration while selecting this particular 10 ideas. After that, generating 10 best ideas, we should have a comparative study of this particular 10 ideas on various parameters. The parameters may be demand, supply, competitors, project cost, government policy, banker's opinion, consultant's opinion, percentage profit, technology and process availability, machinery availability, raw material availability. Likewise, one should have a comparative study of all 10 ideas which you feel that these are best for your personality. Have a comparative study of this particular 8-10 ideas. After that, you will get the response of everything, tabulize it and filter it. We say that around 2-3 ideas which will remain after the filtration. Then along with 2-3 ideas, discuss with your what we can say bankers, consultant, government officials, and and the family members too, so that we can again finalize the single project which will be the best project out of the studies. This is the scientific process for selection of any project. So this is not derived by me. This mechanism is not derived by me. This is this methodology or this route way or this pathway is devised by R&D. These three apex institution: Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, EDII, NISBAD, and NIMSME. So what we follow this process for promoting promoting entrepreneurs in uh, Maharashtra also, and today also we use this. After project selection, one has to finalize the location. The parameters for finalizing the locations are there should be a minimum infrastructure be available for that particular project. That is electricity, water arrangement, and road transport arrangement. These are the three basic things which require for starting any enterprise, industrial concern we can say. That is selection of an location. But the one should keep in mind that we should not start an enterprise as per the availability of the location with us, we should select and location as per the project. ना की भाई लोकेशन प्रमाणे आम्ही प्रोजेक्ट लावणार, प्रोजेक्ट प्रमाणे लोकेशन आम्ही निवडणार. बरोबर आहे असं म्हणतोय. असं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. तर मिनिमम इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर आपल्याला लागणार त्याच्यामध्ये. देन आफ्टर फायनलायझिंग दिस लोकेशन वी शुड हॅव लोकल NOCs फ्रॉम लोकल बॉडीज. We should have NOCs from Gram Panchayat, municipal corporation or corporation. After that, you should name the enterprise. One has to name the enterprise. So for naming this enterprise, one has to have around 8-10 potential names, so that one should check with the check the availability of the names with Ministry of Corporate Affairs or the licensing authorities, so that it should not be an repetition, or it should not be an it should not be an any repetition or any copyright act already which has the name which has been already registered. They can suit and file against us that our name has been again used by particular person. So one has to very what we can say cautious while naming an enterprise. After naming an enterprise, one should register that name and logo and tagline of that particular thing under the Copyright Act or trademark. We say it is a trademark. After this naming of business, one should decide the legal constitution of an enterprise. That is whether constitution is proprietorship, then partnership, simple partnership, limited liability partnership, private limited, public limited, trust and cooperative society. But if an individual starts with an proprietary concern, then the taxes are on a higher side. That is around 33% taxes, up to 33% taxes can be he has to pay. But if it is a private limited company, the taxes will be 17% to 19% only. So to make the Indian companies competitive, government has reduced the taxes for this to have this particular constitution, that is private limited one, so that they can compete globally. So government is suggesting that manufacturing concern and service activity should be private limited one, so that they can have a global competition, they can have a global tendering, local tendering, government tendering, everything. So after having this legal constitution, one should go for registrations and licenses. After legal constitution, one should go for legal registration and licenses of an legally formed proposed enterprise, what we can say startup. What are these legal licenses? One has to register a proposed company under this first act called Shop and Establishment Act in Maharashtra, Mumbai Shop and Establishment Act. Even if our activities is a manufacturing one or a service activity one has to register under this act, because it is Shop and Establishment Act. As an establishment, we have to register with them. म्हणजे आस्थापना म्हणून मला ती रजिस्टर करावं लागेल. जरी माझं ते उद्योग, माझा व्यापार नसणार आहे, म्हणजे विक्रीचं दुकान नसणार आहे, तरी पण मला करावं लागणार, कारण की इट इज अन एस्टॅब्लिशमेंट रादर. So as a being an establishment, I have to register it as an under this Shop and Establishment Act 1947. तर ते करावं लागेल शॉप अँड एस्टॅब्लिशमेंट ऍक्ट मध्ये आपल्याला रजिस्ट्रेशन. After registering under Shop and Establishment Act, one has to register again under this MSME Act 2006 called Udyam registration. It is called as an Udyam registration. So it is free of cost registration. For Shop Act, the nominal fee of around 50 rupees is there, 50. For this Udyam registration, there are no any charges. Just go on the site of MSME and register your proposed activity or startup under this Udyam registration. Why to register with Udyam? Why to register under this MSME Act? If you want to, previously up to from in old act, that is 1947 to around 70, the act was saying that anyone can start an enterprise in India without any licenses and registration. It was mentioned like this. But if they want to avail the government loan, government facilities and everything, then one has to register under SSI ministry. So this was their saying. If they don't want any support from government or subsidies or loan from government, there was no any binding for an proposed entrepreneur or potential entrepreneur or startup, you say anything. So there was no any binding. If they want to do, if they don't want to any, they don't want any assistance or help or anything from government. But now this Act 2006 say that it is mandatory one for everyone in India who want to set up any enterprises in India. They should go under they should have an registration with us, or it is called as an illegal activity, and there will be an imprisonment up to 6 months. तर ते असं मॅन्डेटरी आहे. दिस इज मॅन्डेटरी वन नाव. So one has to register under this MSME Act. It is free of cost one. So it is applicable for industry, service industry and business. So why to register? To get government license, to get if you want to get facilities and loan, financial facilities, infrastructure wise facilities, raw material facility, machinery facility, technology process facility for your proposed enterprise, then one has to register for this. Even for getting an electricity connection, you will be requiring this license. For opening and current account, you will require this Shop and Establishment Act registration plus Udyam registration. See, so this is the thing that everything will be possible only if you register under these two acts. So this is the basic registration, and category wise licenses are different one. If it is in chemical industry, one has to go for this pollution control board licenses. If it is in food industry, one has to register under FSSAI Act, Food Safety and Security Act, India. So likewise, depending on the sector or subsector of your enterprise and nature of an enterprise, one has to go for different sector-wise licenses for them. If it is an textile industry, then it is another one. So likewise, if it is an IT industry, another one. Likewise, there are special category-wise licenses differ from this industry to industry. But basic licenses are this Shop Act plus your Udyam registration is required for that, for availing government facilities and everything. So this after that, all these licenses and registration, one has to prepare, and if the land is there and they want to have a building and money for construction, finance for construction, they should prepare plan and estimate of the proposed shed. So one has to propose this, have an plan and estimate for the proposed building of your enterprise. Then one has to choose machinery. There will be a selection of machinery. There are two parameters for selection of a machinery. One is technology wise selection. Second is capacity wise selection. Technology wise selection means advanced and latest technology machinery should be purchased. One has to carry out the survey for selection of machinery of around 10-20 manufacturers. One should meet them, get an idea regarding this machinery on these two parameters, that is technology and capacity. Capacity means, for example, if I want to start for example, say an bakery manufacturing unit in rural area, so there is this one wala machine will not required. There will be a simple lakdi bhatti wala unit can be suggested over there. So if this one is taken over there, diesel one or electrical one is installed in rural area, the capacity will remain unutilized. So considering all these things and location and the size of the project, one should select the machinery on these two parameters, that is technology and capacity. Then after that machinery thing, one has to prepare project report based on the all estimates, that is the estimate of building, your plan and estimate of building, machinery quotations, raw material quotation. Raw material is again has to be finalized. After that, machinery raw material is to be finalized. Raw material, for finalization of raw material, two parameters are there. The raw material should be available nearby our this location of an project. It should be available in spontaneous way. And second is it should be an quality wise quality wise the raw material should be also good, and quantity wise supply should be also there. So these two things to be kept in mind while selecting and raw material. Then after this project, one has to prepare an rough estimate of our project. That is project report preparation. That is in project report. There are 2-3 things are there. One is introduction of self, introduction of enterprise, then fixed capital, then working capital, then project cost, then annual production or annual services or annual trade, then annual what we can say income from services or sale of goods or from trade. So likewise, one has to prepare a small project report mentioning the profitability of the project. So this project report and all these things I will circulate you in terms of notes on your group, or I will give it to madam so that it can be circulated directly. So this particularly one has to prepare this project report. Then after project report, you will come to know the cost of the project, and you should and you can what I mean that after knowing the cost of the project, you can think of uh, for the sources of funds, what we can say, how to this how to launch this particular enterprise. One has to decide, that is what will be my stake, what will be the what will be the loan, what will be the subsidy. That is sources of fund can be designed after selection of the financial agency. Then after financial agency, that is if I want to take from bank or any other agency or this non-banking finance companies, one has to decide. So basically government don't directly gives us an loan or any fund. So government gives us an subsidies and facilities for starting any startup or any enterprise. So government, after this selection of a financial agency, that is cooperative banks, then nationalized banks, scheduled banks, other financial agencies, likewise private financial agencies. So after selection of financial agencies, and when they say or they give us a green signal for funding any project, then we should select a government scheme. Government schemes comes under after that particular thing. Government schemes, there are n number of schemes for your proposed project. For industry, the maximum schemes of government are for industry, that is manufacturing concern and service industry only. For trading, government won't support much more, because the aim and objective of government is to generate more employment, more assets, or more what we can say, to mobilize the national income. They promote industries and service industries more. This is the role of an technocrat, what you are learning in your this third year and fourth year. That is project what madam has rightly pointed out. So this project you select, like by studying all these things, you select the project, and that project uh, you by taking the help of the machines and facilities of the incubation center and government engineering college, because the machineries and facilities, they are not 100% utilized over there as being an academic institution, educational institution. You use these machineries and technologies and consultation, technical consultation of the college, and commercialize your project idea. So after this selection of financial scheme of government, then again we will have to prepare an financial proposal, bankable financial proposal we say in our language, in consultancy language. तर त्याला मराठी आपल्या शासनाच्या भाषेमध्ये उद्योग याचा फायनान्शियल प्रस्ताव ज्याला म्हणतो आपण, आर्थिक प्रस्ताव बनवायचा त्याचा. तर तसा बिझनेसचा फायनान्शियल प्रपोजल आपल्याला बनवावा लागेल. Then no one will help you. We will have to submit. We will have to follow up the bankers and get it sanctioned. There is no any mechanism that anything can be automatically sanctioned. So one has to fight over there. One has to sell your idea, your project report to the financer, make them convince them and get it sanctioned from them. Then after that, our job is to have a commercial production of a particular thing. आपका जो प्रोजेक्ट है उसमें कमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन आप करेंगे, उसमें त्याच्यातनं कमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन करणार. And after that commercial production, one has to apply for different subsidies. This is the scenario, or this is the roadmap on which the n number of entrepreneurs have opted this particular roadmap route. for starting their own enterprises, starting their own startups. Even while starting, they were very small, but nowadays they are having this 2, 3, 4, 5 industries of their own. So this is the path which we have discussed today. We will see only 2, 3 schemes in nutshell only, not in detail. For startup, what government um, things regarding what is the concept of government rather as a startup in their mind, and what we purview is very different one. So what government thinks that any innovation, any creation, any invention which is of the use of society, which is in the use of any of our society, which is helping the government to reduce something to, or rather in another word, to boost the economy. We can say, for example, any agriculture, any farmer devise something, some instrument or any experiment done by any student in a college, or anything new designed, any product process or any new invention done by any candidate, any educated and employed youth, or any person in an India, any person. And if you want to commercialize it, then government is ready to give such startups a cushion, or an we can say boost, or an motivation. So, but one condition is there: your idea, your process, your invention, your creation should be patentized. It should be patentized, Indian patentized करावं लागेल त्याला. It should be India patentized, and it should be accepted by an governing body of this of an Startup India scheme. So if when it is accepted by this body, then you will get a Startup India registration for your project. After getting this Startup India registration, what benefits you will get? For 3 years, 100% taxes exemption will be there. Then priority in loan, 1% of interest is less for an project, this proposed enterprise. Then priority financial sanctions to be given to this particular startups. यांनी द्यावे, यांना देण्यात यावेत असं केलंय त्यांनी. And fourth is around 15 lakhs as an subsidy or an motivational amount is given by government to such particular startups. So these are the benefits for this particular startups. So these are so for this availing this, one has to go through this particular pathway, decide the project, have a legal constitution of your enterprise, and then we can register for under this Startup India scheme. So this is the Startup India scheme for these innovators, creators, technocrats like you, you know. So or any layman can apply under this scheme, because creativity cannot be restricted to or is not only for educated. We can say that it is not restricted to any person. Creativity can be in any sector or any segment of the society, what we can say. So this is Startup India. For starting, if it is a small startup, then one scheme is there of an central government called Mudra, Micro Unit Development Assistance Scheme, Refinance Agency, sorry, MUDRA, Micro Unit Development Assistance, Micro Unit Refinance Development Agency, we can say MUDRA. Under this refinance agency, the loan of around 10 lakhs will be given to an startup without any guarantee, without any mortgage. He will get a loan for starting any industry or any service industry or any business. So this is in nutshell the thing is there. It is operated through nationalized bank, and one can start a small experimental project under this particular Mudra scheme. So, and second scheme is Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. So this basically 3 schemes are there for startups. Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. This is monitored by PMO office, Government of India, and collector is responsible as far as the district is concerned. So in this, the project up to 25 lakhs can be started in this scheme. Under this, government gives a subsidy of around 15% to 35%. Rest amount is to be managed by us, that is 65 to 75% bank finance one has to look in. So this is 15 to 35% subsidy is available, and 5 to 10% one has to put into an project. So in nutshell, this is the scheme. Up to 25 lakhs one can start an project. There is no any mortgage guarantee is required up to 10 lakhs for starting any startup uh, in this particular scheme. So these basic three schemes are very popular for starting enterprise, for starting any new entrepreneur as an uh, startup or as an entrepreneur. So these are the particular three things. So in nutshell, I have tried my level best to give you an idea regarding what people are using this particular roadmap for starting their own startup. Even we have seen the in detail regarding the on each parameter what one has to do for selecting an project, for selection of machinery, for selection of location, for preparation of a project report. So if you find anything uh, difficult, or if you have any queries, you can ask me in 5 minutes. It is around 4:58 na?
Yeah. Students, you
Yeah.
are welcome to ask something.
Yeah, it's up to 5:30 na? Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We can, it's not necessary that we stretch till 5:30. It is just
Regarding your
tentative. Yeah, tentative.
Ah.
Students, you are welcome to type in chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question, please. Sir, I have one. Like you said, 3C. One is character, the other is confidence, and third I missed.
That is capacity.
Capacity.
Capacity to organize, capacity to manage.
Yeah. Overall capacity.
Rather, I will speak. Thank you for reminding me regarding on this particular feasibility or viability. What we can say these parameters. There are four feasibilities. Four feasibility factors are there. One is entrepreneurial viability or feasibility. You say anything.
Yeah.
Second is this technical feasibility. Second is technical feasibility. In technical feasibility, mostly infrastructure is looking, then machinery is looking, then third is raw material is looking. So this is in nutshell, and particularly particularly in technical viability, the infrastructure, raw material, machinery, and skilled manpower. So these are the technical viability factors on which the project is checked by the financial institution or
Yes.
licensing authority.
Okay.
The first is entrepreneurial viability, second is technical one, third is market viability, that is demand, supply, competitors, then percentage profit, return on this percentage profit is seen particular thing. So this is the market viability, and projection, or we can say the prospect for the future of that particular project.
Yes.
So this is the market viability of an project. Entrepreneurial viability or feasibility, then technical one, market one, and last is economic feasibility. Last is economic feasibility or viability. So that is go not go decision on these four parameters. Economic feasibility, profitability is checked, return on investment, ROI, return on investment. Then third is break-even point, BEP, and fourth is debt equity service ratio, DSCR.
Actually, the field is very vast, sir. We cannot, club in all these 2 hours.
So particularly four feasibilities are there, wherein the financial institution or any licensing authority take a decision.
Okay, that's great. Sir, you said some experience, education, and economic capacity. I think economic goes on top priority, experience second priority, and education maybe can be hired.
No, that education, what is expected over there is from the financial institution, that the minimum education required to start an project, not our qualification.
Okay.
That is the education to start an project.
And amongst these few steps to promote for the entrepreneurship, you told the second step is analyze for SWOT, SWOT analysis, self SWOT analysis. Any procedure, I mean, yeah, or someone as a consultant who is sitting for SWOT analysis of a person or
Yeah.
unknown.
SWOT analysis of an individual strength, weakness, opportunities, and
Yeah,
threats.
that is to be done individually.
Individually.
Yes,
Even
yes.
there are various exercises or tests we can say.
Yeah, okay. Because
Psychological tests are.
that
Yeah.
if the SWOT analysis is to be individually done, I think it matches with introspection.
Yeah, in a group
Like,
also, even in a group also, we can do this particular thing. In
okay.
student can form an particular quality circle like this thing, and
Yes,
they
yes.
share their strength, weaknesses. They can have this micro lab like exercises in amongst them. 8, 10 people can have their own group.
Mhm.
Friends, generally unknown friends can do this in better way. Rather than regular friends can will not share their good things or bad things.
Yes, yes.
So we can have this particular this quality circle like thing, and we can have an exercise to know their own strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It is an around 1 to 2 hours exercise, lab exercise,
Mhm.
psychological one.
Yes, yes. So, indeed, that was a great session, sir. Students, are you there to ask some question? I mean, do you have something? Someone has initially asked something about strategic consultancy. What does it mean?
Pardon? I have got.
Hello?
Now,
Strategic consultancy.
strategic,
Consultancy.
strategic consultancy. Yeah, basically, strategic consultancy can be done in various areas. Where you are using it, I don't know. Strategy consultancy is for differentiation, we can say, for making and differentiation in an market, we can say, for market segmentation, for brand promotion. Basically, it is used for marketing and making us and different one from others. And basically, in overall, if he is thinking of this particular project, the strategic consultancy means overall project consultancy to an firm or to an individual or to an enterprise to penetrate in market or to stand in an market.
Oh,
So one has to conduct, and for example, if a new startup want to start an plastic industry in Aurangabad, for example, so one has to conduct an diagnostic study of the existing plastic industries in Aurangabad and devise the study the problems and strength. That is SWOT analysis of those plastic industries. One has to do diagnostic analysis, and one
okay.
has to see that how the new unit can strategically started, survived, and be upscaled ahead.
Okay. Okay. So,
So it is doctor, we can say.
yes. Yes, yes. So, let's come to the last session. Sir, you have devoted your time for our students with a very short notice. You said yes on the given date because we were afraid of the calendar activities given. A list of activities with respect to the calendar is given by central government to us. We are abide to follow that, and that's how you responded it very positively and said yes to conduct the session. That was a great from your side. We are very much thankful. On behalf of Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad, I would like to say thank you for you. And
Yes.
my colleagues and my student friends who have attended will definitely get the benefit. At least they now know the steps. How can the project be finalized? I mean, their initial step is very important. That environment scan. What is the need around in the society? They have to search because they after 1 2 months they'll be getting some little vacation, and after vacation their projects has to be are to be finalized. So definitely through the vacation, they will carry out their environmental scan so that they can land upon certain ideas. And the very next important step, you have identified it very correctly. I mean, we follow that. That's a comparison of identified projects. We generally ask students to give 3 4 proposals, and out of that we choose one. So that's another step of comparing what are the needs the students have explored through their survey. So let's start, sir. I mean, from student side, I will commit you, sir, that they will follow the steps given by you for just choosing their technical area to work for their project course. and maybe later on it will be converted as a startup depending on how the need analysis is strongly done, market survey is strongly done. Let them have a good journey of the project as a well start of preparing a background of how to create a project, how to select a project, how to freeze upon the idea. That is very elaborately and beautifully explained by you, sir. So thanks once again, and let's have a interaction further as and when we find some opportunity. Please be ready to share your views with our students. And with that, let's conclude. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, participants and my dear colleagues, whoever have attended the session. Thank you. There is a request for the students to please complete the feedback form without leaving the meeting, please. Thank you so much. Faiza, you can wait for 5-10 minutes so that the students will complete their form, and then you can conclude the meeting. I mean, you can close the meeting. Let us wait for 5 minutes so the students complete the feedback form. My appeal to all to complete the feedback forms.
Okay.